Next,
Yeah.
we'll start our session. Let's take
Yeah.
a look at the resource person's profile.
Correct.
Reverend Dr. Jose Kannampuzha, former director of St. Mary's Polytechnic College, Palakkad, is an experienced academician and administrator with over 30 years of teaching at leading engineering colleges in Kerala. He had served as principal, director, and committee member across major institutions, including Amal Jyothi Engineering College, Kottayam, NSS Engineering College, Palakkad, and Sahridaya Engineering College, Thrissur, and is currently director at Jyothi Engineering College, Thrissur. He also has extensive industry experience, most notably as managing director of Jeevan Telecasting Corporation. Dr. Kannampuzha is a member of prestigious professional bodies such as IEEE, ASME, ISTE, and IE. Now, I would like to request Dr. Jose Kannampuzha to kindly start the very first session of our faculty development program on the topic Introduction to Safety Engineering and its Importance in Industry. We eagerly look forward to his valuable insights and guidance as we embark on this learning experience together.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah. So happy to meet all of you. Dr. Matthew, the director of St. Mary's Polytechnic, Professor Intukala, principal and head of the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, and principal of St. Mary's Polytechnic, Palakkad, organizers, faculty members, participants from various colleges and institutions across India, dear ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends. I'm extremely happy to join you in this wonderful session. And this is an ATAL FDP sanctioned by AICTE. Really, this is a great opportunity for the participants, also a great opportunity for the organizers. Very few instances are only there for the polytechnics to undertake FDPs, that too ATAL FDPs sanctioned by ICT, and St. Mary's has got a golden opportunity of hosting this wonderful engineering FDP, and this is regarding progressive safety in manufacturing and industrial world. Now we know there are innumerable occasions where safety has been crucial, especially in the manufacturing industries and many other areas. Even in while people travel, maybe the surface transport, maybe the air transport, the ocean transport, all these places we come across with a lot of accidents. Safety issues are emerging at any point of time. See, 2 months back, we had that big uh, accident in Ahmedabad. One of our planes crashed, and only one person could save himself. And we know the on the road every day we are coming across with a lot of accidents, train accidents, nuclear accidents, industrial accidents, and so on and so forth. So we have to keep the safety in industry, not only in industry, in the daily life as well. So I'm just giving you some glimpses of what that came to my mind so that we can have a little in-depth pondering and we can implement in our circumstances. So the engineering colleges and polytechnics are training our students to get ready for the industry. And we see that this is a very dire requirement of every industrial scenario. people who are running the industry, people who are involved in the industry, people who are employed over there, and people who are living around, all are looking for the safety. Safety is one of the most crucial needs of the hour. So we will go to that. So you can go to the next slide, perhaps. Yes. Why do we need safety? Now, see, workplace fatality, the next page, and injury statistics. Some of the statistics you can just see. In 2015, across the globe, 2.78 million deaths happened related to the industrial scenarios. And this went up and up. In 2019, it was 2.9 million work-related accidents and deaths. And about 1/3 of the total work deaths, that is 31%, is due to the circulatory diseases. Circulatory diseases means heart-related releases and blood vessel-related problems. All happened in the industry-related accidents. Then again, cancer contributed 29 because of the industrial scenario. And the respiratory diseases, many places, this is a real problem in the industrial areas. So 17 percentage of the respiratory disease and occupational diseases contributed 11%. Now there are other diseases such as work-related communicable diseases contributed 6% and etc. Yeah, go to the next. Now, people die due to unsafe and unhealthy working conditions every day, and 5 to 7% is due to this 7,500. This is a daily statistics, and out of this 6,500 die because of the work-related diseases and 1,000 from the occupational accidents. Next page. Now this is another statistics. Countries by fatal workplace accidents per 1 lakh workers. 2007, India accounts for 116.8 deaths per 1 lakh. Pakistan 44.2 in 2002, Cuba 25.10, Dominican Republic 17.9 in 2008, Algeria 17.6, etc., and Costa Rica 9.7 in 2016. So this is, and this data has been provided by the International Labour Organization, ILO. Next. Now, why is safety is that important in engineering? Safety engineering is a discipline of applying engineering principles and practices to systematically identify, evaluate, control hazards in order to reduce the risk acceptable to the acceptable levels, protects human life, ensures safe operations of the system throughout their life cycle. So this is it, and this is very vital in our industry. Go to the next. Industrial importance. In industrial settings, safety engineering play a very vital role. We have to design the safe machinery and workflow. If the machinery is not safe and the workflow also must be safe, then if that is not done properly, definitely things will be in a very chaotic situation that we should be avoiding. And we have to implement fire suppression, emergency systems we have to implement, ensure proper use of PP, personal protection equipment, safety interlocks, reducing downtime. See, because of this, the life of the human is at risk. Not only that,
the entire life cycle of the industry is coming down. That will be definitely in a financial terms also is a big loss to the industrial owners. So we have to look into this aspect as well. Go to it. Now we are looking into some 7-8 areas. One by one we will be dealing with. Why safety? The first one is why safety is central to engineering. Yes. Next. You see, one is human protection. Much more than anything in this world, human life is the most valuable. If you lose your life, whatever you gain is of no use. Absolutely stupid to have something if the life is not there. So you should prevent injury, fatality, long-term health issues, all must be addressed. That is why this is very central. Number one value is human life, without which whatever we have has no value absolutely. Now, legal compliances also. So a lot of complications are there as if you are not adhering to the laws that are given by the government and the organizations related to that. We will go to that in a board and other things later. Now, the operational continuity. So if an accident happens, there is a downtime. The industry may be closed. If it is closed for hours, it's a big loss. Suppose it is for long days, what a big loss you are incurring. So you have to reduce it. Then only it will come up. So you can profitably run the business. So for which you have to avoid every chance of accidents and safety must be ensured. Now, reputation and trust. Suppose an industry is getting accidents now and then occasionally, then the reputation is gone. Who is going to come to that industry? Nobody will be interested. So we have to see that our brand image is brought to the highest level. So that is very, very important. So that reputation and trust is vital to any industry. Now we have to have the integrity with the innovation. Now everything is new. So we are going to industry 4.0, 5.0, a lot of many things. AI is coming to picture. IoT is already very much in the air. Now in everything, artificial intelligence is incorporated. Now we have to incorporate this also into the safety aspects to save our time, our energy, our life, and etc. Okay, go to the next. Now, the second aspect is the real world relevance. Why this is important for the actual world. Yes. Workplace hazards are a matter of real concern for us. We have to anticipate. There is like electrical faults. This can happen not only in the industry, even in the domestic usages. This is very much. Chemical exposure. You may remember the Bhopal issue. In 1980s, so many people died and so bad a situation was there in India, in the heart of India. Structural failures, the roads are failing, buildings are falling, so on and so. The ergonomic strain, the sitting posture, the design for the turbo, the working ambience and all, they are very, very important. Now, the product liability also is very important. Poor design can lead to lawsuits, recalls, reputational damage. I know this is very much important. Even the recent accident that happened to the aircraft in Ahmedabad, some issues are coming up. So this is not for the planes and other things. Even for smaller items, this is a very important thing. Say if you are using your mobile phone, if it is creating hazards, accidents and fires, nobody will come to purchase your mobile any further. So this is the product liability is a very important issue. And in sectors, industrial systems is manufacturing, construction, energy, safety engineering ensures that systems are fail safe. So it should be definitely safe in all these atmospheres. Go to the next page. Now, this is the core principles of safety engineering we are just going to look into. Yes, please. So the principles, these are the 3-4 items: hazard identification, risk assessment, preventive design, compliance and standards, and incident analysis. See the first one, hazard identification, detecting the potential source of danger in the system, processes, and environments. So the identification is a very big issue. So if we can't identify what is the issue, just like in the medical case, if you can't diagnose the real disease, how can you make a treatment? Same is happening here. So you have to identify the problem. Then only we can go for the correction and other things. Now, risk assessment, also the likelihood of and severity of these hazards, we have to analyze. An assessment must be done. Now, design is a very important thing. Once we come to know the reality, the problem, then we are going for the preventive design. So creating systems that minimize and eliminate risk through redundancy, fail-safes, and ergonomic design. Design is a very important thing. Without design, there is no meaning in going for the reparation and other things. And also, we have to comply with the standards. There are a lot of standards, as just I mentioned, as NEBOSH and other things, which we will again go elaborate. So we have to ensure these things. Now, the incident analysis, once something has happened, we have to analyze why this has happened. And then we have to see that this is not recurring any further. So the further steps and safety measures are to be taken. So these are the basic principles of the hazard protection and prevention activities. Go to the next. Now, key techniques used in safety engineering. Okay. Yes. The 3 or 4 techniques I have just mentioned. One is FMEA, failure mode and effects analysis. The purpose is to identify the possible failure modes and their consequences. And this is used in product design, manufacturing, and process safety. Now, the second technique is FTA, failure tree analysis. Maps out logical paths to system failure. If you know that logical path, we can definitely prevent. Now, next is HAZOP, hazard and operability study. Systematically reviews the process. Especially this is applicable in the the chemical industries, process industries, etc. Now, another technique is STPA, system theoretic process analysis. Considers the control structures and the unsafe interactions. And this is very useful for the modern software intensive systems. And event tree analysis, ETA. It evaluates possible outcomes following an initiating event. And it complements FTA for probabilistic risk assessment. So these are the general techniques that are used in the hazard operations, hazard blocking operations. Next video. Design and so the techniques we already came across. Now, what are the preventive techniques? Redundancy, adding backup components to ensure continued operations. This is very, very important. Even if one system fails, there should be a redundant system which will support in the next case. If one leg is broken, there should be another leg to support. Even if there are failures in 2 or 3 systems, maybe a 4th system may be given so that the safety is ensured. So this is the first one, keep redundancy. Now, fail-safe design, ensuring systems default to safe state during failure. Even if a failure happens, how can we, as a default, keep up the safety? This is another technique. Now, there are interlocks and safety barriers, physical or logical mechanisms to prevent unsafe actions. So there should be some systems for this one. Now, another is the ergonomic design. So the body fatigue, most of the cases, this has been a big reason for failures, hazardous situations, and failures. So the design must be, say, even the seating posture, the standing posture, or the posture in which a human person is working, maybe the human fatigue, a lot of things, time, and the posters, everything is important. So these designs must be properly scientifically done and systematically implemented in the industries and elsewhere. Go to the next. Regulatory and procedural tools. Now there should be safety audits and inspections. Regular checks against the standards like NABOSH, OSHA, ISO 45001. These are to be done. This is a regulatory. I mean, on regular intervals, this must be done. And this will definitely ensure the safety of the individuals and the systems and the industries and factories and all. Job safety analysis, JSA, task level risk evaluation and mitigation. This also must be implemented properly. So permit to work systems. So there should be an authorizing body, and they only will be permit you for working in a hazardous task. So suppose the case of a lift, you are implementing a lift in your building, maybe industry, maybe in school, maybe educational institution, but there should be an authority to check it, whether it functions properly, the electric connections are right, and it is working properly. Otherwise, there can be innumerable number of accidents, and there are, every day we are just listening about the accidents. This is for the case of the lift alone, but in every other system also this is really true. So we have to look into the permits for this. Now, root cause analysis. After the incident, an investigation must go to prevent such things to happen again and again. So that I told you the example of the Ahmedabad plane crash. Now they are making studies. Final results are not yet announced. So if there is something wrong that has happened, it may be human errors, it may be mechanical errors, it can be some other errors. Those things must be eliminated hereafter. Only then people will be safe to fly in the aircrafts. So this root cause analysis also is very important. Go to the next. Now, the fifth factor is the fundamentals of safety, the core pillars. We are going to go through that. The fundamentals are these: the hazard identification. This has been already mentioned, but once again, this is again taken and brought to your analysis and discussion. Now, recognizing the potential sources of danger in systems, environments, or tasks. You have to identify. You have to diagnose. As in the case of a disease, a doctor is first of all looking into the diagnosis part. Only the doctors who can diagnose properly, medication can be had in the right way. Otherwise, it is simply in vain you are doing it. You cannot just fire a gun panning all the directions. That is not the way it should be done. It should be correctly aimed and pointed at the exact point for which diagnosis is very important. That is what we are saying about the hazard identification. So that must be done. And then risk assessment must be done, evaluating the likelihood and impact of the hazards. So whether there is any probability of hazard to happen, we have to analyze. And what will be the impact if the hazard has happened? So this must be a very thorough exercise, the risk assessment. And implement the control measures is another thing. There should be administrative things. PPE-based solution. PPE is nothing but a personal protection equipment. And all these things must be definitely implemented. These are the control measures which we have to be very meticulously looking into and should be implemented exactly without any dilution of the concepts. Then incident prevention. Designing systems, workflows to avoid accident before they occur. So we have to have the design systems where the workflows will be analyzed and accidents must be definitely avoided before they happen. So this is very, very important. And then emergency and preparedness, planning for the fire, chemical spills, equipment failures, natural disasters, so on. Suppose there is a failure, say in the aircraft failure, this happens almost every now and then. Say a couple of days back in, I think, Bombay or somewhere, one of the wheels was not functional, and immediately the flight engineer was given the direction to down the flight, and then they could land it safe. And now every precaution was taken in the airport, so that if at all some danger is happening, some hazard is happening, the rescue measures must be implemented at the earliest. So this is an emergency preparedness. So it is very, very vital for the definite, implementation of the safety measures. And then regulatory compliances. There are a lot of regulatory compliances as NEBOSH, OSHA, ISO 45001, national codes and other things. So this must be meticulously implemented. It is very important. We cannot take life of the people very light. And the most important for us is our life. So we have to comply with the regulatory instructions. And continuous improvement using audits, feedback, it has to be improved daily basis. Every now and then there should be checks and measures, and improvement must be implemented. Yes, we go to the next. Now there are layers of protection. So this should be taught in the safety engineering. In the classes it must be given. Nowadays, ICT is insisting that in polytechnics as well as in degree engineering, this safety engineering is a very important item. Everywhere this must be taught. So, and especially I understand in St. Mary's Polytechnic, there is also a branch in safety, fire and safety. It's a very good thing. Even though that fire and safety is not there, in other polytechnics and engineering colleges, for other branches also, the safety engineering must be taught as their part of the curriculum. So the primary protection process control systems that detect and manage hazards. Everyone must be given that, especially those who are connected with industry. So the polytechnic students as well as graduates from engineering colleges, they are going to work in some of the industry. It may be some of them must be in manufacturing industry, real factories, and maybe some of them in the service industry as well. But in service industry also, there are a lot of occasions where the safety hazards may emerge. So we have to look into that as well. So this primary protection must be implemented and must be given to the students at every level. Now, secondary protection is independent system like pressure safety valves also must be given. In the industries, in other institutions also, safety measures must be given. You see, in the pressure safety valve, even in the pressure cooker, we have seen a safety valve. If it bursts, first of all, the valve will open so that the entire system will be made safe. Now, this must be done in the community as well, in industries, in the public, in the communities, everywhere. The second level of implementation of the safety measures must be implemented. Yes. Now, emergency protection, fire and gas detection, emergency shutdown systems, this must be done everywhere. You see, fire and safety is a very important thing. Even in the construction of the new buildings, the fire department is insisting that the measures must be well done, well implemented. The fire engine must be able to move around the building, and there must be, safe tanks and other things for keeping water enough to pump when a fire is breaking out, and other emergency shutdowns also. You see, while we were having the floods in Kerala in 2018, we were not prepared for that floods. Most of the dams, their openings, their spillways, they were not functioning in the proper way. So they could not operate because frequently they were not opened and shut down. No grease was applied to the machines and gears. And they could not open at the last moment, everything broke up. And massive flood came to Kerala rivers. And finally, we know what a calamity we had in 2018. So this should not happen. So emergency protection systems must be there. So the primary protection, secondary and emergency protection, we should be prepared, not only in the industry, but everywhere, in the community, in the society, in everywhere people move around, work and live, even in houses, this must be done. These layers of protection must be implemented in the proper way. Okay, now next. Educational relevance. The scenario-based learning, it should be properly taught. And it must be taught to the engineering students as well as any student, any layperson. Say, we are mourning about our industry, our cleanliness. Swachh Bharat is one of the issues the central government is taking up. But just go around. On the roadsides, piles of waste things are happening, are accumulated. Why this is happening? People are not educated. This is not happening in the developed countries, in the Western countries. Why? From the nursery classes, this is taught. They know how to segregate the waste, the plastic, the digestible, degradable, the metallic things, and other things they segregate, they learn. From the nursery classes, they learn. You go to Japan, you go to the Germany or any Western countries, the children do that. Whereas, even a PhD man traveling in a car in Indian roads, after eating a little thing, clean their hands with the tissue paper and they throw the tissue paper through the window. Somebody chews a good sweet and the wrapper is simply thrown to the roadside. And this is done by educated people also in India. Because this lesson has not been taught at a lower level. So whenever I travel, I speak to the co-travelers. Please don't throw anything through the window outside. This is happening even today. No, I am feeling so sad about it. People never practice. Why this is not happening? So we should teach the people these basic concepts of neatness, switch, and safety also. So this scenario-based learning must be taught from the primary classes, how to deal about our safety. Now, there should be safety checklists and mock audits. For the sake of doing it, there are some mock audits happening in colleges, in cities and all. But it is not making any impact on the public life. It must be done. So we have to learn this. So the educational relevance is very, very, very important. And it should be integrated with the engineering design projects. Now you must have heard about the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. There are 17. All these 17 SDGs must be taught at the bottom level, right from the nursery classes up to the top level. Even in your PhD course, it must be able to do that. Now, I'm also asking my project groups in the college, the students to connect their project works with the SDGs. They must be connecting it. So we are rarely doing that. It must change. So we have to come back. We have to do it in a professional way. So I request all the faculty members of the polytechnics as well as of the engineering colleges who are attending this course, You have to do your project work of the students like this. You have to connect with the SDGs. Some of them are related to safety as well. There are poverty issues are there, family issues are there, educational issues are there, Swachh Bharat issues are there, and safety issues are there. This one, women, gender-related issues are there. So many of them. 17. These are the 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, undertaken by the UNO. So this must be taught at the bottom level, at the grassroots level, at the nursery level. From there, it should start and it should go up. Now, this is to be done. So the educational relevance is utmost important. So integrate this factor of safety in our engineering design projects. Every project must be some way connected to the SDG, one of the SDG. And some of them must be definitely connected with the safety. Now, any project is a probable opportunity for having accidents and hazards. Now, the students must be given instruction how to be safe. Now, they should take measures to see that the hazards are avoided. Now, this is one of the things. Now, in the industries, so we have come across with a lot of industries. See, in 2011, you might have heard about the atomic center has been devastated in Fukushima because of the tsunami and other things in Japan. Then Chernobyl, which happened in 1986 in United USSR, the Bhopal chemical factory, and then so many things. So these are some of the monuments of safety issues where we have to take care of. So the educational relevance is very, very important. Now we will go to the next. Now, the major safety regulatory bodies and standards as NEBOSH and other things. These are some of the things which we have to take care of. Now, the number one is safety regulation. This body is called NEBOSH. This is very famous in safety engineering. You must have heard about it. There are students after completing their graduation or polytechnic in engineering segment, they go for NEBOSH certification. Very few NEBOSH certified trainers are available in Kerala, but this has got a big market in the industrial countries like UAE and other things. If you have a certification of the NEBOSH, you are guaranteed a job almost in construction and other factory jobs. Now, this is a national examination board in occupational safety. It is called a NEBOSH, and origin is UK. It offers internationally recognized qualifications in health, safety, environmental management, etc. Widely respected in high-risk industries and academic institutions. If the students also, you can, faculty members can give a direction that your students may get a certification in the NEBOSH, a kind of a diploma, which some of the organizations, some of the institutions are offering. This is one of the things by which students can get a guaranteed job as well. Now, OSHA is the second body, Occupational Safety and Health Administration. This was originated in the United States and enforces workplace safety standards in the US, offers compliance-focused training, 10 hours and 30-hour courses. There are two types of courses. Less global recognition, but foundational for US-based operations. Those who are thinking of going for US, of course, now the visa issues are there. Presently, only recently that issue has been emerging. However, those aspirants may think about this OSHA also because they are insisting on that. Now, ISO 45001. This is an international safety regulation thing. A global standard of occupational health and safety measurement systems, just like OHSMS, focuses on proactive risk management and continuous improvement, ideal for institutional accreditation and audits. So the institutions in this line may think for this ISO. ISO many numbers are there. This is especially with regard to the health and safety management. So Perhaps the industries and educational institutions also can think about this certification. Now, IOSH, this is another certification. This is Institution of Occupational Safety and Health. Again, originated in UK. Now, it provides practical safety training. Example, managing safety, then working safely, etc. Then suitable to entry to mid-level professionals and widely accepted in the Commonwealth countries. So this is also another important thing. Now for India, we have got a Factories Act in 1948, immediately after the independence. It governs health, safety, welfare of the workers in functions, factories, crucial for compliance in emerging and industrial education settings. Another act is 1986 Environment Protection Act, that also applicable to India. It regulates environmental safety, including hazardous substances and pollution controls. Often it is integrated to safety engineering curricula. So these are the safety regulations. At least some of them we should be thorough with. And our institutions also may have certifications in either of this. So this is a very good thing. And this must be taught at the polytechnic and the graduate levels to our students, so that they are made aware about the safety measures they have to take care of. And once they go to the industry, easily they can get acclimatized with that situation. Okay, I'll go to the next. Now we are going to the 7th and finally 8th. We are almost coming to the end. Now the educational and institutional significance of this safety. Yes. So this is embedding safety into the engineering education, prepares students for the global careers. So we are not confining our students to Kerala or India. We are broadening their scope globally. And there they are insisting on regulations, which may not be very meticulously implemented in India, in Kerala very especially. But abroad, it is not like that. They are very strictly following the regulations. So it must be incorporated into our educational system, as I mentioned about the incorporation of the same from the nursery schools. Definitely it should start with the nursery classes. Even if that is not taken care of in our engineering career, engineering academic career, I mean, especially in the polytechnics, ITIs, and very especially in the graduate engineering levels, this must be well incorporated. So the ICT also, as I mentioned earlier, is insisting on that. In the curriculum, there is a safety chapter, one subject has been allotted into that. So this must be taught. Even in the college where I am, we have appointed one safety engineer to teach these lessons. He is a person from industry. Right away from the industry, he has come and joined our faculty. So he is doing the classes. Now this must be incorporated into in our institutions. Every department must have some lessons on safety. It is not confined to the safety, fire and safety department alone, but in everyone, even in computer science, even in civil engineering, even cyber security, even in biotechnology, biomedical engineering, everywhere. This is very important. So there is a potential of hazards at any point of time, at any instance, any situation, any ambience. This is a reality. So we have to embed safety engineering into our education. So this is very, very significant. Now, another point that we are thinking about is the safety-aligned modules, elevate institutional credibility and student employability. So the employability now is a very important thing. See how the colleges and institutions and polytechnics are graded, how they are going to the national institutional ranking framework, how they are going to be accredited by NAC and NBA. Student employability is one of the factors. This is one of the outputs. We are now going for the outcome-based education, OBE. One of the outcome is their employability. And for employability, this is very, very essential. And then the credibility of the institution. So by the word of mouth, people hear about the institutions, and from person to person, they understand and they evaluate, they rank the institutions. Definitely looking into the credibility. So this credibility is a very vital point we have to think about. So that also is insisting upon this safety measure which has to be incorporated into the curriculum. So see, even if it is not given by the government part or the higher education or the technical education or ICT, we on our own should incorporate these things into our study materials so that the students are made capable, they are made ready, they are made ready to Industry 4.0, 5.0. Industry 4.0 is the latest, and then SDGs are incorporated. Now we get as Industry 5.0. So we should be making them ready for that. For this is our responsibility. Everyone in the field of educational institutions are given this heavy duty of incorporating these things into the curricula and teaching your loving students about these things. It must be done. And the third one, it is a scenario-based learning, hazard analysis, emergency response drills, fosters practical. So you can have some kind of emergency drills also. If a fire is happening, what way we have to react? We must be giving lessons and also hazard analysis. It may not be very scientifically proven thing, but you can have a mock drill. Say even the Ahmedabad case, you can perhaps take and see how things have happened, what could have been taken care of, so that it could be eliminated, it could be avoided. Now, such things must be taken into account. So this has got such institutional significance. So this is also very important. Now, I'm coming to the last part of it. Let's go to that. Now, key trends in defining the future. So, along with the other things, safety measure also is one of the key trends defining our future. Now, for anything and everything, we are connecting things into artificial intelligence. Even in camera, artificial intelligence is there. Even in your WhatsApp, artificial intelligence is there. Even for writing an essay, there is an artificial intelligence. Even for scientific study, there is an artificial intelligence. It is not only ChatGPT, there are a lot of other things. Meta is bringing something. Gemini is there. DeepSeek is there. Perplexity is there. Claude is there. Everywhere things are happening. And depending on the nature of work that we are undertaking, we can go to any one of this. Nowadays, in the general public, there is a kind of a talk that ChatGPT may not be the fitting tool for you. Maybe Claude may be better. Maybe Perplexity better tool. Gemini may be another one. You see, looking into the different aspects, we are selecting these things. Now here also in the hazard and safety measures, AI coming into the picture. So the first one is AI predictive analysis. AI-powered systems can forecast potential incidents by analyzing patterns in the historical real-time data. So the accidents and hazards that has happened, it may be fire hazard or many other hazards, chemical hazards, so many things. You can enumerate them and look into, and the historical background also you can explain, and you can make use of one of the AI tools which I already mentioned, and a kind of a predictive forecast you can think about. And the incidents can be eliminated. AI will be coming to our rescue. We will design some other things where the hazards can be eliminated. Even the floods, how to rescue the humanity from incoming floods which are not very predicted. So it can be done. Maybe cloud bursts are happening. even such a cloudburst, so which has been very common feature in the North India for the last couple of weeks. In many of the places in the northern states, it has happened. Uttaranchal and other places. See, we have to have some measures, and some of the answers, some of the measures we can take, we can make use of, can be had from AI. So the predictive analysis can be, analytics can be done by making use of this. Real data you give, and the predictive measures they will give you. Smart algorithms can help engineers move from reactive to preventive strategies. Now, this some of them can be used even in the Smart India Hackathon. You might have heard about the Smart every year for the last 8-10 years. I think IICT is conducting Pan India Hackathon under the name Smart India Hackathon. So I request all the departments and all the institutions participating to arrange your students, to organize your students, to prepare them to go for Smart India Hackathon. And where these things can be also taken care of as your proposals. Already the challenges are already there in the air, in their website. You can just go and see. And these smart algorithms you can generate, and the safety engineers can think about the preventive measures. The strategies can be, depending on each situation. It can be maybe while driving a car, maybe traveling in an aircraft, maybe in a ship, in a vessel, or maybe working in industry, maybe chemical industry, it may be manufacturing industry, it may be many other plastic industry, so many things. What are the measures that we can think about? Now make use of the AI, and this is one of the latest trends that we have to adapt ourselves. Analytic. Now IoT and wearable techs. IoT, Internet of Things, we can make use of. So there are so many devices already developed, which we can again develop further. Say the smart helmets. I have seen even Kerala students in some of the project competitions, they have developed it. Say a lineman, the electricity lineman, while climbing up the electric poles, they are having a new type of helmet, which will give an indication whether the wire is live or not. So once I remember the Manorama Mastermind, where I also was a organizing team member. In one occasion, such a group was given the first prize. They were developing a smart helmet while the lineman is climbing up the ladder on the electric poles. If the wire is live, they will give the alarm and they will take excessive care. Now, sensor embedded gloves when you are catching something very, very dangerous, maybe a live wire. So the sensor embedded gloves will give you a warning and you can take precautions. Now, fatigue monitoring vests. As I mentioned earlier, fatigue is one of the reasons for many of the accidents. Why the aircraft accidents are happening, and people say one of the reasons is the fatigue of the captain. They are given duty 24 hours at a stretch and they are getting tired. Now, something must be done. Even the drivers in the trucks, they are driving for 2 days, 3 days consecutively without any sleep. Now the fatigue is another thing. So that is to be monitored. And the vehicle must be given such systems wherein the drivers or the captain or whoever is given a rest for a while so that their driving will be safe. Now some vests must be given. Their vestmen even will give the monitoring systems and becoming the frontline tools. These are some of the trends. These wearables provide real-time alerts and health data. So we have to take care of enhancing personal safety and situational awareness. So safety is given, also awareness. Both are important. Once you are coming to the awareness, definitely you will think about the safety and then measures will be undertaken. Now, integrated safety platforms. Unified dashboards now combine data from AI, drones, wearables for the centralized decision making. So a combination of all this, what we mentioned earlier, it may be AI, Drones are very popular now, becoming more and more popular. Everywhere it is there. Now wearables, which I just mentioned, and all these things will come together, and the centralized decision making, they will help the entire decision making process. These platforms streamline audits and incident reporting and compliance and tracking. So this will definitely help us very much. So this is another trend where we can think about and go for the implementation wherein hazards can be eliminated. Now, other human factors and ergonomics. Greater emphasis on designing systems that align with the human behavior to reduce errors and injury. So this human error is one of the most important causes of fatality and hazards and accidents. So we can avoid it. So the human failure is one of the important things. Machine failure is another, of course, which we can't eliminate totally. Definitely, designs are coming up. Now, from the human point of view, we have to reduce their stress, strain, fatigue, and other things. And also the ergonomics is very, very important. Maybe the posture in which he or she is sitting, or the way he is operating the work, time and work management. So many other things are there, which definitely must be a matter of educational studies, engineering education, and the workplace design. So many places in the industrial revolution, people were looking only for the mass production. They were not thinking about the comfort of the employee. So their posture, their workplace design were not taken into account, but gradually that also was incorporated. Now this is another area. You see, those who are in the service industry, especially the IT industry, they are facing problems with their eyes, their necks. So the sitting posture is giving them heavy troubles. Also the glare at the screen is giving a lot of problem for that. So what they are going to do? Now, these are some of the factors, the ergonomic factors and human factors, which have to be taken into account, and designs must be proper so that these issues will be gradually eliminated. So this is another point. Now, the cyber physical safety. The safety is not only in the physical world, but also in the cyber world. Now, cyber security, you must have heard about very profusely these days. Now, there is an engineering branch called the cyber security. The cyber is working everywhere. Even in the warfare, cyber is very, very much employed. Even in the war between Gaza in the Israel and Hamas and other people, the cyber was playing very important role. Now, because of the cyber security issues, they could leak some of the things. They could identify the opponent, the enemy, their places. They could creep into any situation. This is to be implemented in the industrial safety also. Say you take a kind of a biscuit manufacturing industry, for example. Now they got their recipe already secured in their computer system. And according to the directions given by the computer, according to the recipe that is already put into the computer research, their combinations of the materials are going to the factory and they are properly mixed, cooked, and processed, and finally the biscuit is coming out. Now somebody is stealing your recipe, breaking your cyber world, and then thereafter the factory is on standstill, stagnant. Nothing more is workable. And maybe the next day, the top manager is getting a telephone from a group of people that your recipe has been hacked. And if you give me a ransom of, say, 5 crore, only then we will put it back. This can be a situation. And finally, they have to bend their knee, bend their head before these people and have to pay 5 crore and then get it received. No, the thing is that one day they are producing a lot of products which may be costing very high, maybe 20 lakhs, 20 crores or 50 crores and all. So one day's loss is much more than this 5 crore. So they have to surrender, they have to submit. And then this is the cyber security is important. This is not only in industry, everywhere. Your cash can be taken away from the banks by cyber hacking. Your formula can be taken away. Your intellectual property can be taken away. So the cyber security is very, very important. So the physical systems as well as the cyber systems, you have to take care of. So the smart factories, autonomous vehicles, here the autonomous vehicle now is when Tesla has already brought in the autonomous vehicle. Already the drones are autonomous in many cases. They can be controlled even without control. They can move on their own. Now, if the cyber has been hacked, what will happen to the vehicles? Definitely they will go and hit somebody, make accidents. So this is an area where we have to take care of. So this is another proactive area, the latest developing area, which we have to take care of in a big way. So cyber security is now a safety concern. Think about it. So safety engineers must understand that the digital threats alongside physical hazards, they also are very, very vital. Till recently, this was never a matter of our thinking process, but now it has become. So how dangerous things are happening. Of course, many things are happening in the advanced technology world, but equally worse things are happening in the other direction because of the latest development in the technology level. And then it can be done. The inspections can be drone based, especially in the war area, hazardous area. This can be a very important tool. Humanly, we may not be able to go. See, in the war fronts, now you see the drones are set. In our border with Pakistan, we understand from the media that they are sending drones. And everywhere this is happening. In every war, this is, even the Ukraine-Russia war, also we read about this one. They are sending drones with bombs and other lethal weapons. They can attack the enemy in any way. So this is another area. This is a latest development. So we have to think about that also. I'm just bringing all these things to your introspection, your discussion, your networking, so many things. So this is revolutionizing the safety audits in hazardous and inaccessible areas. It can be there in the rooftops, confined spaces, large construction zones, where humanly we may not be able to go there. We cannot inspect everything. It's a huge building, maybe some 50-story building. How we can go and inspect it physically? Whereas a drone can do it in a very easy and faster mode. So these are some of the things. These are the probability or scope of our development in the hazard stopping or eliminating systems. So this also is important. Okay, now next we go to the last one. Yes, with this, I just conclude the first session. If you have got any questions, we can perhaps put it across. Once again, thank you, Dr. Matthew, Director, Professor Intukala, and others for giving me this opportunity to present my small presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Father.
Yeah, thank you.